Welcome back to Crypto Tutorial. On today's video, I'm going to talk about Litecoin and how it's currently performing and how it will be performing during the upcoming days and weeks. But firstly, I would like to show you how these moving averages are looking right now on the Litecoin compared to Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame. So if we take a quick look and see how it's currently performing, you can clearly see that we are not only right now creating this lower high structure, but also we have been rejected by a 100-day moving average. That's the thin yellow line. And as well, you can see that we are not holding strong on top of the 50-day moving average. We held strong just for a couple of days. Right now we saw a breakthrough towards the downside, and it has been a major level of resistance because we have been trading underneath and we're not able to break above the 50-day moving average once again. Currently we are seeing that lower high structure also creating perhaps a lower low as well. So I think right now it is not looking ultimately well for Litecoin's performance. So I will be placing Fibonacci retracements from its previous high towards where we are currently at, and you can clearly see that we were not able to break above the 0.236 level. We were heading towards that level. Unfortunately, we did not go all the way towards a retest of this zone over here, and currently we are seeing this minor downtrend getting started, perhaps once again trying to head all the way down and see a retest of this level of support at 0.003 Bitcoin. So personally, I'm not very glad this is occurring, and I think it is something that is quite concerning that we are not able to break above the moving average, but not either above the Ema Ribbon. We were able to break above it just for quite a while, and right now we are re-entering the Ema Ribbon, not finding support on top of it, and actually seeing this minor downtrend getting created on the daily time frame. I think this is very important for the overall price action of Litecoin, but for sure we have seen the first major breakthrough above the Ema Ribbon after this major decline in its strength compared to Bitcoin, and that for sure gives me the indication that eventually we will see a major pump finding support on top of the Ema Ribbon and breaking above the 0.236 and eventually as well above the 0.382 Fibonacci level in this chart. Right now where I'm currently looking at is as well the MACD. If you take a look at the MACD a little bit more closely, you can clearly see that we have started major downward momentum on the daily time frame, and I think this is something very important due to the fact that the MACD and its downward momentum could see once again a retest of this level of support before heading even further. For sure, I will be looking at the MACD very closely, and what I personally think that is very important is that we will see eventually a crossover once again occur, as we saw previously on the 31st of July, and afterwards we saw this minor increase in the strength compared to Bitcoin, and I think that for sure will be helpful in the near future as well once we see a crossover occur once again. Let's get a little bit further by taking a look at the Litecoin compared to US dollar chart on the daily and for hourly time frame. But before doing so, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and also the like button down below in the description section if you're liking the content so far, and if you would like to stay up to date, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. With this being said, I will be heading straight back towards the Litecoin compared to US dollar chart on the daily time frame, and what I would actually like to show you is actually just the moving averages. The moving averages were heading exactly the way I personally wanted them to be heading towards a crossover of the 50-day moving average above the 200 and 100-day moving average, and right now we are clearly seeing that we are finding support on top of the 200 and 100-day moving average. But unfortunately, I think due to the fact that we are breaking out outside of this broadening wedge, we might perhaps break below the moving average once again. More time to be able to find support on top of the moving average, break above them, and see eventually the crossover of the moving averages before the 50 and 100-day moving average are able to cross over and be on top of the 200-day moving average, instead of what we are looking right now, that the 200-day moving average is actually the first level of support where the price action of Litecoin can actually find support on top. And I think right now this is concerning me because I don't think personally that it will be able to hold strong if we are seeing this major breakout outside of this broadening wedge. And that is also the fact why I would like to take a look at the 4-hourly time frame. If we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that right now we are creating that lower high structure. You can see we have already created one lower high, and we are right now breaking underneath this upward sloping support. And this is very important to me, especially because if we take a look at this broadening wedge, you can clearly see that we had several touch points on the upward sloping support line. One over here, one as well here, a third one, and a fourth one before we saw this breakout towards the downside. So 4 touch points is already quite a lot, and it should be a very significant trend line. And on the upper part, you could see clearly that we were rejected multiple times by this upward sloping resistance line, and it was also a very significant one. So if we would have seen eventually a breakout towards the upside, it would have been quite significant. But right now we are unfortunately seeing the opposite occur, and that is we are seeing a breakout towards the downside. I will be measuring this breakout by selecting this beginning of this upward sloping support line all the way towards this touch point over here, and I will be explaining you exactly why. You can clearly see that this is the second touch point of this broadening wedge at this point in time, and that is perfectly aligned. This measurement, I always measure this broadening wedges like this because it gives me a indication where we could be possibly heading towards. So you can clearly see we have seen this breakout towards the downside, and right now we would be heading all the way towards this 0.786, but I think perhaps this might not be the only option that we will have, especially because there are major strongholds of support that you can clearly see in the chart. So that is also why I will be removing the Fibonacci retracement that I have placed currently, and I will be placing a Fibonacci just right now from swing low towards swing high of this current uptrend. So if we take a look at where we are heading towards, personally, I think it is quite unfortunate that we were not able to find support on top of the 0.236 level, and that we are right now even breaking below this, and we are seeing clearly that we will be heading even way further down than the 0.382 level, and perhaps heading towards this level right here at the 0.786. Personally, I still think this won't be the level we will be heading towards. I think the 0.618 level at $138 is the major level of support where we will be perhaps heading towards, especially due to the fact that previously we saw major price action on top of this level as well as underneath it. So I think this is a very important level to take into consideration, and the 0.618 level at $138 is the level where I think we will be possibly heading towards, finding support on top and accumulating before we see a major spike in its price action once again. So if we take a look at the RSI, what I think is very important right now is that we are actually already quite low on the RSI. So this could be a significant indicator that we won't be heading all the way towards the 0.618 at $138, but perhaps we might be heading towards the 0.5 Fibonacci retraces, where we have found support on top as well for quite a while, and also it was a previous level of major resistance, and that would be even better if you ask me, because then we would be heading all the way towards the $148, and personally I think that would be a better outcome for Litecoin, especially because that will only be a 12% drop, and otherwise if we would be heading towards the 0.618, it would be a almost 19% drop. So I think perhaps heading towards the 0.5 level is exactly what we need, because we would see eventually a major increase in its price action. I would also like to take a look at the MACD. On the MACD, you can clearly see that we are also heading towards perhaps a crossover in the near future during the upcoming days. And I think this is also very good to see that the MACD is already quite low on its momentum, because this could be the indicator that we won't be heading also towards the 0.618, as I said previously, but that we would be perhaps heading towards the 0.5 Fibonacci level before seeing a crossover on the MACD and some major upward momentum getting started. So the MACD and the RSI, for my personal opinion, are looking very good, because it's will be holding strong on top of the 0.5 if you ask me, and perhaps if Litecoin's performance is very strong, it might be even holding up on top of the 0.382 golden pocket entry at 158 US dollars, but I think that will not happen, and that it is more likely that we will be heading towards the 0.5 level, find support on top of it, and head further up eventually in the near future. Lastly, I wanted to enable the Ema Ribbon, and if we take a look at the Ema Ribbon, you can clearly see that the Ema Ribbon has been broken through. We are not finding support on top of the Ema Ribbon anymore, and we are currently experiencing some resistance underneath the Ema Ribbon. You can clearly see that right over here at the 25th of August, where we were not able to cross above the Ema Ribbon. This wick of this candle was rejected and the body closed right underneath the Ema Ribbon, meaning this is a major level of resistance right now instead of a major level of support. And this could perhaps be quite difficult to break through, and that is also my opinion why I think the 0.382 level of Fibonacci that I showed you previously won't be holding strong, and why I personally think that we will be heading towards the 0.5 level of Fibonacci at approximately 148 US dollars. So lastly, I wanted to just summarize where we could be possibly heading towards. The 0.5 level at $148 is personally my target for this breakout towards the downside. Eventually, I think we will be recovering from this major uptrend. It is only a 20% drop, and a 20% drop I think is quite healthy while we are in an uptrend, so I'm not worried at all. I just think it's quite unfortunate due to the fact that we were heading towards a breakout of this broadening wedge towards the upside, and we were unfortunately rejected at the $191 level at the 0 point Fibonacci level. So thank you very much for watching my videos. If you like the content so far, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and also the like button down below. That will be highly appreciated, and also have a nice day. Bye bye.